Boop. Boop. That's... Double check this. Sorry, just double checking on Discord before we get started today. Hope everybody's doing well. Okay. Okay. Labrys is long? I assume so. Lots of text. More than Mitsuru. That'd be surprising. I mean, this seems to be like 90% text, 10% fighting, not gonna lie. A lot of talking for a fighting game. Not gonna lie. But I like my meme today. I made that one myself, you know. And that's why they call him Cliffhanger.
Brought to you by the following sponsors.
Persona 4 Arena Ultimax.
Okay. Sounds good. Oh yeah, did you get a chance to check out the VOD from Sunday at all, Jeppo? Was that Dojima? Shouldn't have been. The sponsors thing? Because it's a little intro thing where it says, you know, today's show was sponsored by, and this shows the logos for Atlas and the Artworks that made the game. This is a good song. I think I have the soundtrack somewhere. I gotta re-listen through it. Got Lotus Juice, so it's gotta be good, right? Alright, so we're doing Labrys today then? Yeah, I know. Yeah, we'll work our way around the square. Initial boot successful. Timestamped 4/20, 1999, 10/16/39.
The boot process was successful. This happens every time, but I'm never sure what to say to them first.
You mean like a greeting? There's no need for that. They're just machines.
Two humans within visual range. Both male. Searching for voice print and visual matches. Personnel identified as research staff. Not hostile targets.
But things like that might affect the performance of these models.
Because they have a mind? Their emotions and things are completely faked. It's no different than an AI. It can't possibly be that sensitive.
Scanning for keywords in conversation. Running logical analysis. Cross-referencing with related data. Current conversation topics is not orders.
Well, until we rule it out completely, we should at least be kind to them.
Not all of it, but at least we should read it, the backstory, yeah?
So you say. All right, from this moment on, you will be registered as candidate unit number 031. Please repeat your number back to me.
Confirming first order. Initializing unit number. Output via voice requested. Activating voice synthesis module. Accepting input. Oh, that's nice.
Unit number 031.
I see. However she got the accent, somebody programmed into her. She's had it from the start. Like specifically like a collection of them or something, or just like a bunch of them?
Did its pronunciation sound a little odd to you?
You're worrying too much. Let's hurry up and haul it out.
Oh, but yeah, speaking of Yakuza, did you get a chance to watch the end of the VOD from Sunday at all yet? Receiving action plan through console. Combat tests against orders of other same unit. Test commencing immediately after entering shock-resistant chamber within the lab. Frame stored within cage for transport. Beginning transport. No? Okay.
Ah, so this is the one. I've been waiting to see it in action.
What happened? I got through getting to Legend Style. So I looked it up. My understanding is I shouldn't go beyond level 2 for Legend Style, right? In terms of upgrades, because otherwise things get too easy. Also, I really put my all into voicing the mental breakdown of the guy towards the end, so. Did you hear the news from the recent event? I'm afraid you're going to have to be a little bit more specific than that. How's it going, Union? Hope you're doing well. Transport complete. Cage reopened. New human found. Searching for voice print and visual matches. Personnel also identified as research staff. Female. Cutting connection to outside data supply. Connection offline. Commencing cable disconnection.
Now, try getting up.
Oh, was there? Okay. No, I didn't realize that there was a direct today. I've been working on other stuff. Order confirmed. Get up. Oh, interesting. Sorry, I'm just interested because this is the first time I think I've seen... Yeah. She looks different than how she does now. I think... Yeah. Initiating motion synchronization engines for motor functions. Accepting input. Safety limiters active. Balanced control gyros functional. Overall movement systems functional.
This model's loaded with a nearly pure form of that crystal. I can't wait to see what kind of results it gets.
No, I didn't realize that there was a direct yet today. I'll have to look at that, I guess. Anything interesting?
Unit number 031, can you hear me? Confirm your surroundings. Tell us any abnormalities you're feeling in your sensors or any other functions.
Order confirmed. Beginning simple self-diagnostic. Temperature, humidity, pressure, air composition, lumens, sound all within normal levels. Visual data within expected color spectrum. All systems functional.
The readouts seem fine. Monitoring system is fully operational.
Pizza Tower, nice.
Okay, we're gonna test your performance inside the battle chamber now. When you hear the buzzer, consider everything that moves an enemy and eliminate them.
When you hear the beep, line up at the start. Trails in the Sky, first chapter coming out in 2025. Neat. Lick my balls, Liam. Lick my balls. Order confirmed. Awaiting the signal to begin the test. Exit confirmed to be sealed. Room shape approximately cylindrical. Height approximately 11 meters. Area approximately 154 square meters. High energy light sources found on outer wall. Assumed to be fire resistant and bulletproof.
Sorry to do this just after you've woken up, but it'll be good to put you through your paces.
We don't get into fighting for an hour? Dang. Well, it's fine if most of today is just this. Release of facing hatch detected. Mobile objects intruding into chamber. 7 objects in total. Scanning for visual matches. Analysis. Non-human. Confirmed as same model units of humanoid weapons. Hostile markers confirmed. Classifying as hostile units. Releasing safety limiters. Combat limiters now set at 70%. Exit confirmed resealed. Test commencement signal received. Targets. Hostile humanoid weapons. Commencing battle. Ooh, anime cutscene. Oh. Yeah, it's definitely interesting to see, like, the different, like, early versions of the humanoid weapon project. I think it's also kind of interesting because there are things in, like, anime and manga stories where if you think about them too much, they become kind of, like, pretty dark. Like, you know, like a tsundere girl beating up, like, her boyfriend all the time. It's, like, played for laughs, but if you think about it too much, it's like, eh, you know, that's kind of messed up. So it's like, here, like, oh, like, initial thought in Persona 3. Oh, cool. Robot girl. She's cute. Where that robot girl came from. The backstory on the robot girl. You know. What it means to have all these, like, trials and stuff. Iterating on that design. All targets eliminated. Hostile units no longer capable of motion. For sure. I might be a little late to Persona 3 Reload's Answer DLC, just because I'm playing through Yakuza 0 right now, but we're getting there. I might be late by like a week, but I'm planning on playing that. Test termination signal received. Battle complete.
That was better than we could have hoped for.
Yeah, I mean, they did say that, like, it was pretty obvious that, like, she was freaking out because she had to, like, fight and was tested against, other anti-shadow humanoid weapons in the past. Like, yeah. The fighting friends thing made sense, like, pretty much the first time you got to, like, once you got to the end of Use, or any of the initial people's, like, story, it made sense, like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Hey, what's with all the bodies? You made it fight that many on its first time?
Don't worry, it did great. This is a new high score for the first battle results.
Well done, unit number 031. Stand by for further instruction.
Order confirmed. Exiting test chamber. Beginning transport to maintenance room. Interesting. That looks like one of the devices that, I guess, uses sometimes. Resetting safety limiters. Taking a seat in maintenance chair.
We're done testing, but there's still one thing left to do today. I'm going to temporarily shut down your optics. Can you close your eyes?
Order confirmed. Shutting optic inputs. Connecting cables. Online confirmed. Switching a portion of data supply to outside source.
We're going to transfer the data from the destroyed units into your memory.
Oh, that's...
Run a diagnostic check while we're doing it and report any malfunctions. Understood?
So not only does she have to destroy them, they then feed the data of her killing them into her. Oh no! Oh no! This just got another level of worse. Order confirmed. Readying self-diagnostic. Initiating data transfer. Initiating personality module link. Initiating diagnostic of transfer data and sorting procedures. Sector 001. Close combat control data. Will investigate improvement of tactical patterns through synthesis and acquisition of data. Dividing into categories for sorting. Sector 2. Evasive combat action control data. Okay. And then Sector 003. Non-battle data. Error. Excluding. Sector 004. Non-battle data. Error. Excluding. 005. Okay. What could these be? Momentary disruption of data from visual information stream. A room that is not this place. Outdoor scenery thought to be at night. Scenes of multiple units of the same type gathering outside some sort of battle chamber. Could these be memories? Visual memories? They're obviously unrelated to the mission. Why have apparently purposeless memories been preserved for this long? 20 to 40% of the information data extracted from all 7 units are confirmed to be such information. Incomprehensible. What is this?
Anything to report?
Cables disconnected. Time elapsed during data transfer. Approximately 5 minutes. Reopening optic inputs. Calibrating servos.
All right then, unit number 031, give us a simple report of today's battle results.
Order confirmed. Delivering oral report of test results.
This was the first test battle against others of my model. 7 units destroyed. Below 15% damage sustained. Don't seem to be any problems.
Was that...
Unusual expression detected from research staff. Facial recognition library indicates surprise.
Did I say something funny?
Does it have an accent?
Accent? Do you not understand the words coming out of my mouth?
No, we do, but
See? I wasn't hearing things. The unit's speech really is peculiar.
You don't need to yell.
Is the language interface not set to default? Sheesh. If we'd known this, we would have reset it in advance.
Yeah, the base's personality might be coming out. I wouldn't be surprised if some of the volunteers were from the Kansai area.
but it just woke up. Would it be exhibiting such distinct mannerisms this early?
It may be the effect of an enlarged plume of dusk, the basis of their mind. Perhaps it's accelerating their personality development.
Exchange of opinions taking place on unexpected aberrance in speech pattern. Hypothesis offered that language interface setting fall outside expected results. Review of recent conversation does reveal certain discrepancies. Internal monologue is within expected patterns, but oral output induces anomalies. Anomalies not affecting meaning. No impediments to communication predicted.
But I don't want to waste this feedback data. Those are the best results we've ever seen.
Leave it. It'll be fine. They can understand us anyway. This is just one of those things that makes science interesting.
There you go again. This unit is going to be communicating with the others. What if this effect spreads?
Yeah, the researcher with the tie is definitely Yu Narakami's same VA. You can definitely tell.
Not only that, but because this is an anomaly, it doesn't seem to have a 100% accurate accent either.
But if it has a personality, that might speed up the development of its mind.
Yeah, she's right.
The three researchers are standing around the maintenance chair. Each holds a tablet and examines the display on the chair.
All right, unit number 031, we'll explain things from the top.
Voice pattern consistent with research staff.
You are a weapon created to fight against unique enemies. Therefore, your combat performance is prioritized over all else. But in order for you to use a particular ability, you've been given a certain amount of awareness. And that makes your performance difficult to quantify, so we've been pitting test units against each other as a selective growth process. It's all in the service of achieving higher performance, and we don't want to waste any plumes of dusk.
Accessing archives. Search tomb. Plume of Dusk. One match found. A crystalline substance at the core of personality modules. Its name derives from its thin, plate-like shape, resembling a shed bird's feather. In addition to its circuit-like structure, it has a natural vital reaction in response to external stimulus. Similar to a living thing, yet different. It is thought to exist in a state between mind and matter, mass and information. The details are unknown. There are 12 other subheading classified under level 7 clearance. Access denied. Matter interpreted as the core of personality modules.
But regardless of your ego, there is one rule you must abide by.
That's interesting. The whole Plumes of Dusk thing. I don't remember if that was mentioned too much in like the original Persona 3 files. I feel like it wasn't. Like they didn't get that in depth on like how Aegis was created, obviously. Interesting. The Plumes of Dusk also seems to link it in some way to Nyx as well. I believe that Plumes of Dusk is something that's mentioned or might be like a move that Nyx uses in battle. Something like that. I mean, Plumes of Dusk, like, there are like literal like feather-like things that drop from Nyx, you know? Which, yeah, it sounds kind of like that. That's what I think of. Like, when they say Plume of Dusk, that's what I think of, like some dark feather kind of thing.
You might as well think of it as an order.
One rule to abide by. Awaiting order.
The only order is to destroy everything we identify as enemies and to emerge victorious. Though your ego will give you some flexibility when planning tactics, there's no need to think about extraneous side issues.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I always find, like, scientists like this cartoonishly evil. Like, it's silly how evil they are, how blatantly evil. And also, like, I don't know. I feel like you could... See, if I wanted to make a more realistic version of an evil scientist in this situation, or an unethical scientist, I would say, yeah, they know that they have to be kind of like human-like, to like wield personas, and so they will foster emotions, but they'll just use like brainwashing techniques or like make them reliant on their handlers. Like, that's what you do. You don't like treat them as objects. You treat them like children and then brainwash them. That's what you do. Like, if I wanted to make a more realistic, like, evil, like, scientist kind of thing. You know? Because, like, this is just stupid. You're, like, inhibiting their growth by not allowing them to feel emotions and stuff. And you know that, like, it's going to bite you in the butt one day, right? Or you should see that coming. So what you do instead is you just, like, treat them like children and then brainwash them. That's what you do. And then not only are they loyal because of their programming, they're loyal because they think of you in, like, high regard. So, both physical and mental mind programming.
Use everything you have to win a fight. That's all you need to concentrate on.
Order confirmed.
Understood.
Destroy identified enemies and emerge victorious. A clear order. It is consistent with the role of a weapon. No abnormalities. Everything is clear. Maintenance. Post reboot. Status is normal. Time is 19. Research staff set new activity cycle. All units will exit standby mode at 9. Tests will be conducted at regular intervals until 17. Maintenance and setup will take place until 19. Afterward, time is allowed to be spent in the outdoor area of the grounds. On returning, enter standby mode within the cage. Instructions are to repeat these actions until unable to continue. The next item on the new schedule is to spend time in the outdoor area. Parameters of spending time unknown. Hypothesize that the meaning is to remain on standby and wait for time to pass. Hypothesis unnecessary. The schedule must be followed. Exiting building. Outdoor area reached. Light levels limited due to time of day. May tree still visible in the environment. It is almost entirely consistent with the known data from the off-limits area. The ground is different from the laboratory's artificial flooring. The soil is exposed. Various natural plants are here. A certain amount of time must be spent here. The intention may be to heighten basic response capabilities in the natural world. Others of the same unit can be seen stepping into the central area, reassessing the surroundings on various spectra. Unlike the combat test, no hostile unit markers detected. Hypothetical. In combat under certain conditions, what tactics would be effective? I reassess the surroundings as a combat environment. I assign value to various geographical features. I survey the topography on the outskirts of the environment. I detect unusual movement in one unit. Other units are also surveying the environment, but this unit is crouched while holding something with its right arm. I do not deem the unit's unusual action to be a threat. I approach it in order to make inquiries. Upon my approach, the unit turns around and stands.
It's a pleasure meeting you.
She's cute. Gonna be honest, I saw her thing earlier today when I was making the meme, and I was like, huh, I wonder who she is. I've never heard of her before, but she's cute. I processed this statement. Its conversational gambit is unexpected. I find no prepared response in my libraries.
You mean like how this is our first encounter? In that case, yeah. What are you doing here?
I've never heard your accent before. It's intriguing.
They said stuff about my accent too earlier. Do I really talk that funny?
I wouldn't say it's strange. It was just surprising.
The unit looks over again and then speaks quietly to something in its right hand. I examine what it holds. It's an organism. Almost said the wrong word there. Its body is covered in white fur.
What's that thing?
It's a dog. It must have wandered in.
Organism's parameters are consistent with access data on dog. Its size does not present a threat. The search of its specific breed is cancelled.
A dog.
The unit turns its gaze back to me.
My unit number is 024. I wouldn't call it my name, but that's how they refer to me. What's yours?
The unit has provided its designation, despite no prior inquiry. Reason unknown.
I'm unit number 031.
They're up to the 30s. I see. That must mean they're finally creating units loaded with full-sized ones.
The dog barks. A scan of the surroundings shows several units turning to investigate. All units ignore it and look away.
This one wants to say hello too.
It does? You can understand what dogs say?
Kind of. After carefully comparing its mannerisms and slight variances in its barking, I just figured it out.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess canonically knows what dogs and animals say, so. I guess all of them can do that, huh? Its right hand pats the dog's head, while its left scratches the dog's neck. 024 continues to make various forms of contact with the dog. 024's actions are consistent with styles of communication. Hypothesis: the objective of spending time in this area is to develop communication skills. Conversing with others of the same unit and refining communication will enhance cooperative tactics. Counterpoint: no value detected in communicating with organisms of not of the same unit, or human.
What's the point in doing that with a dog?
The point?
Weirdly! Weird how that works
There
out,
isn't
huh?
one, I suppose.
Well, maybe there are, but we haven't seen any of them. I mean, she didn't specify whether the other ones wandering around are male or female type, so. But yes, every single one is all cute cute anime girls. There was no point. Unexpected response strongly indicates that 024 is not like other units.
Are you interested in what I'm doing, though?
Interested? Is there interest involved? It seems to be the case. Unsure of purpose of earlier question to 024. Why ask it? Oral sensors detect electric noise. Recognize as pseudo-information involving no sound waves yet perceived as sound data. It is the alarm signaling the end of this activity. All other units begin moving as one towards the building. 024 speaks to the dog it cradles.
Sounds like that's all the time we have today. I need to get back.
024 crouches while petting the dog's fur-covered body and releases it onto the ground. 024 stands up again and turns
I
around.
hope to see you again.
024's expression changes as it says this. The movement of its lips is known as a smile. It is shown when humans experience happiness. Contradiction. 024 is a weapon. Yet it makes that expression. No hypothesis found. Or is there no point to it as well? A spare cognitive process is rerouted to analysis. Still, I cannot understand it. The next day, after being released from standby, I am assigned to a test battle against others of my unit, as yesterday. Order confirmed. I am taken to the same chamber. The battle commences. I destroy 3 other units and sustain little damage. As I wait there, the researchers come in. All have what seems to be high praise for my abilities. I do not understand how I should react to this. Should I give an expression of joy, as 024 did? The researchers crowd next to the units I destroyed and begin work on them. I think back and recall that they underwent this process yesterday as well. I'm curious. I approach them. They open a slit near the unit's neck and use tweezers to remove a bluish-white, plate-like object. It shines. They put the object into a petri dish. That distinct shine, neither strong nor weak, is like... no similarities found. I'm sure it is similar to something. I cannot access the relevant memory.
Well, let's get
The
right
moon,
to the
maybe?
feedback on today's battle.
That would make sense. As I sit in the mains chair, they connect a cable to me. The cable terminates at the midsection of a large device where petri dishes from earlier were placed. There's a total of 3. Each contain a bluish-white plate-like object.
What's that?
The researcher's expression suddenly changes. She's surprised. It only lasts for a moment before it fades.
This is a plume of dusk. Each of the units you destroyed had one inside them. These are much smaller than the one installed in you, though.
I know what this is. This is a plume of dusk. Installed in me, too. This unknown substance forms the core of my personality module. I was aware of its existence, but this is my first time seeing it. There are 3, these are the 3 personality cores of the units I destroyed. They contain not only combat data, but memories and experiences. It's not long before the extracted data download begins. I sort for the data relevant to enhancing battle performance and incorporate it into my own. The process takes much less time than the initial transfer from yesterday. During that time, I recall what took place last night. There are cases where non-combat data is being preserved. Such memories are included in this download as well. Visual memories of the outdoors at night. Memories very similar to what were in yesterday's download too. Probably from time spent in the outdoors area. The units I destroyed seem to have assigned these memories the same priority as combat data. Why, though? It is effective in learning communicative skills, but that is lower priority than combat. The visual element preserved here is irrelevant. Wait. Hypothesis. The units I destroyed had their own priorities and values, other than executing orders and performing in battle. This line of thought really leads to a realization. This thought process I am undergoing right now, it is not executing an order, nor is it contributing to battle performance. I once again look towards the plume of dusk inside the petri dish. Something almost exactly like it is installed in me. Then, were the destroyed units thinking along similar lines as mine until yesterday? I feel a twinge within me. It is different from detecting an error or interference. What is this? I have no answer. I'm mostly still playing through the story, because the story's kind of long. It's got a lot of text. Getting there though. But yeah, I haven't tried like doing random like matches or anything yet. I'll probably like let viewers beat me up at some point. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't really cost them too much probably to keep the servers up, at least for Steam. I think the servers are also still up for like PS3 and stuff as well. So somebody was testing that earlier in one of the other streams and was able to like get the game up and like search for a match on PS3. So, and that's for the original Arena. I don't think that's even Ultimax. I think. I'm trying to think. I think that's right. Not sure if it was Ultimax or not. Anyway. My second night of spending out time in the outdoor area came. It started approximately 30 minutes later than yesterday, but there was very little difference in weather and temperature. The difference is trivial. The night sky is the same soft brightness. The wind and trees are no different. Without understanding why, I initiated a data search regarding the tree that catches my eye. I learned that this tree varies slightly from specimens of its own kind found in natural forests. Though this topography seems natural, it may be cultivated and managed by the facility. I decided to reverse the outskirts as I did yesterday. It's not long before a familiar unit comes into view. There's no need to run a scan for visual matches. I know that this is Unit 024. 024's left side is turned towards me. It is sitting on a large rock. When I approach, 024 notices me and turns around.
Are you looking for something?
024.
Huh? Who, me?
I just wondered if you were looking for me. I did express a hope yesterday that we would meet again after all.
I was looking for 024? It's true. I may have been. I began walking the same route as yesterday, but once 024 came into view, I changed course to approach. I may have been searching for 024 in this area. Did I desire to reunite with 024? Why? I'm silent due to a lack of explanation. 024 smiles again. A smile. What was the cause of that expression this time? I do not comprehend. Like so many other things.
Would you like to sit with me? This rock is large enough to accommodate us both. It would be more relaxing than standing.
Thanks.
I sit in the offered space and gaze at the same scenery 024 is looking at.
Can I ask you something?
What is it?
I decided to voice the doubt I experienced during the combat test today. In my limited experience, 024 has a better comprehension of such matters.
Do other units think about stuff that doesn't have to do with fighting and missions?
Do you have such thoughts?
To tell you the truth, I can't really say. Feels like I do, though.
Units of our model are all given a mind. It's so that we can eventually develop what is called an ego. The reason our appearance closely resembles that of humans is related. It's to foster self-awareness similar to a human's.
Yeah, this is why it's so dumb that the researchers are like treating them like objects. Because the whole point is that they're supposed to be human-like so they can use personas. They're supposed to develop an ego. Why would you treat them like objects? It's counterproductive to your own goals. If you want to be evil, just make them manipulate them like children. Treat them like children, brainwash them, make them completely loyal to you. Make them vie for your attention and want to do better for that. Don't make them like... Don't try and like trample on their individuality, because you need their individuality to like... be like able to use personas. I don't know. It's just a poor way of like writing evil villains if you want to make them somewhat believable. But also it's like makes this scientist seem kind of dumb, which they're supposed to be smart if they're coming up with a robot. It's like, yeah, they're evil, but they're smart enough to like make a humanoid robot that works and figure out how to utilize like otherworldly energy to make a basically a artificial human being. Anyway.
Have you not been told about personas?
Personas?
The word is unknown to me. Accessing archives. Searching for persona. Over 1,000 headings found. I must filter the results further. Which subject is 024 referring to? I'm silent as I think. 024 smiles again and resumes the conversation.
It's an ability expected of us that normal weapons don't have. The conditions to use one are theoretically already loaded in us.
Oh gosh. You are asking the wrong person. I'm super indecisive. Well... Do we have to order them? I can probably think of 5 really great games if, we don't have to order them.
But a well-defined ego seems to be necessary to activate it.
No order. Okay. Let me think. Probably 5 greatest games. See, are we basing this off of like what the most important games are, or what the best games are, or you said the greatest? Because like, what are the? There's a difference between what I think. Oh, favorite. Okay, because I was gonna say there's a difference between like what the 5 like most important or greatest games are, or what my 5 top favorite are. Because, for example, Minecraft is probably one of the greatest games ever made, and like one of the most important games ever made, but it's one that I don't particularly enjoy too much, just playing it by myself. So that would be a difference. But if it's like 5 games that I really enjoy, I think the original Halo was one of the games I grew up playing. I think that's a really good game. I think specifically Pokemon Black and White 2. Pokemon in general has a lot of I think Pokemon Black and White 2 was like the peak of the franchise. I think it's gone downhill since then overall. I find that Pokemon Black and White 2 to be the peak. I mean, I originally played like Pokemon Blue. I've played like all the Pokemon games up through the 3DS era. So, that's one hack and slash series I haven't played. No More Heroes. I should play that at some point. I think they're all on Switch now. So, interesting that you say Yakuza 5 is one of your favorites. Considering how much I've been enjoying Yakuza 0. But I guess those probably came out around the same time. But so the original Halo, Pokemon Black and White 2. Let's see, what else we got? 5 favorite games. The World Ends With You. Yep. The original World Ends With You. That's 3 games. What's 2 of my other favorite games? Like favorite games. I mean, at least that's 3, but what about 2 others? I don't know. I guess I haven't thought about this too much. I'd say DMC5. DMC5 is a really good game. I'm glad I got a chance to play that. And then I'm trying to think. What's one more? Oh, I know. Kingdom Hearts 2. Yeah. Yeah. I think those 5 would be good. Yeah, Kingdom Hearts 2, DMC 5, The World Ends With You, Halo 1, and Pokemon Black and White 2. I am already aware that we've been given a mind. Today I saw for myself the part that forms our personalities. Is its activation triggered by the development of communication skills? I still do not have a good grasp on it, though 024 continues to speak.
That's why I'm sure there are others with thoughts that do not pertain to missions.
That would seem to be the case.
Then maybe those I fought up till now.
024 trains its gaze on me.
And how does that make you feel? The opponents you destroyed may have thought similar things to what you just did.
Do I feel things? I cannot say for sure. I'm unable to respond to the question. 024's expression changes again. The expression could have been classified as a smile, but it's subtly different from the ones I've cataloged as experiencing before. Mixed with joy and gladness of previous smiles, this one contains a slight hint of sorrow?
It's okay. You don't need to come up with an answer right now. It actually may be better to forget it. After all, tomorrow we may find ourselves ordered to destroy each other.
Once again, I detect a twinge from inside, hearing 024's statement. It's similar to what I sensed during the data transfer today. What is it that wavers within me? I'm about to be lost in thought again. But as if to prevent it from happening, the signal for our schedule shift echoes in each of our ears.
It's time. I hope we meet again.
As 024 quietly stands up, I detect an expression I have come to know. Another smile. It appears as if 024 is adopting these smooth changes in expression naturally, and not deliberately. I wonder if I will eventually be able to do the same. Oh, House of the Dead is something I didn't expect to see there. Yeah, Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story was good. I can't remember if I completed that game, but I played like a lot of it back in the day. I could probably find the old save file. Oh wait, right, I have the cartridge. So yeah, I played that. I could look and see how far I got in that. I don't remember if I finished or not, but I played a lot of that and like the other Mario and Luigi DS RPG. Although I've never played the original, either the like actual GBA original or the remake. So Lost Future is late in 3. Yeah. But then the night passes. Another combat test takes place the next day. Just as scheduled, I face teams flagged as enemies within the test chamber. I'm overwhelmed with a strange sensation. The way that my opponents are expressionless now seems strange to me. There's no intent or cognition evident in their faces. They wear no expressions. They're blank. There's nothing wrong with them. That would be my normal assessment, but as I recall 024's image, the blankness of these faces and 024's expressionless face are different somehow. Even when 024 had no particular expression, it was not this blank. Not every portion of that face was neutral. Further analysis shows that the same is true for humans. The researchers are never completely mechanical and expressionless. I look at the hostile flagged units again. They are the same unit type as me. They were given a mind and potentially may develop an ego later. I recall 024's statement again. Do you feel something when you destroy an opponent that may be thinking the same things as you? I'm on the verge of entering a long train of thought when the enemy moves. I played Black Ops 1. I thought the campaign was pretty good. I never really got into zombies too much because I just didn't have like I didn't have the online experience playing like online shooters growing up, and so there was no chance of like being able to play like the zombies mode online as well. But I played a good amount of Halo with friends and family, and I enjoyed that quite a bit. Mostly Halo 3 and Halo Reach. Although my dad got really into Halo 2, which is partially how I got into the series. I'm on the verge of entering a long train of thought when the enemy moves. I shake off my doubts to focus on the battle. I study the opponent's movements. I formulate the most effective method of damaging it. I execute the method. Over and over. The array of actions I have to select from and my flexibility in linking them will decide the outcome. Having already received 10 units worth of downloaded data, I'm likely second to none regarding the scope of possibilities in this respect. At times, I can even anticipate their next action, since my opponents are the same unit type as me. Their tactics are determined using the same thought processes as mine. That's right. They're thinking the same things as me. Eventually, after approximately 4 minutes pass, all opponents are silenced. I successfully executed my mission. The day after that, I achieved victory in the combat test with the same efficiency. So this also kind of explains why Labris became like much more human much more quickly. Is she was being fed the data of other test subjects, right? Of other humanoid weapon systems. And so she was gathering like, even though she's only technically been alive for a few days, she has like at least a few weeks worth of like data within her, right? And so this compounds. Like the more she defeats people, especially if the humanoid weapons systems have been around for at least a few weeks, the more data she's getting input and the more feelings and emotions she's getting and memories from other similar models. And so all of that combined with the catalyst of having was it 024 around means that she's going to like progress much more quickly than maybe Aegis would have, where she's just trying to figure it out herself, you know, and like slowly through, like even Aegis, if you assume that like she was pretty much mentally reset from, well, she wasn't completely mentally reset. She had some emotions, it seems, when she originally fought Nyx, right? So she wasn't like a completely blank slate. Like she had an ego and a persona, but like she was still very robotic when she got to the P3, when she was introduced and like started hanging around seas. But even then, it only took her a few weeks for her to be interested enough to like request to go to school, and like within a year she had developed like human emotions. Like under extreme conditions, but still. Like it doesn't take a super long time. Like the longer somebody, like the longer these humanoid, I'm like, it is like children, right? Like the longer they live, the more experiences they have, the more memories they have, the more likely they are to form an ego based on those experiences. It really isn't too dissimilar to how children learn and grow. The day after that, I achieved victory in the combat test with the same efficiency. It's easy to eliminate them. I first begin by targeting their weapons. It's not always necessary to destroy their main body. If they are incapable of resisting further, the battle is over, is the most effective way. I win the next day, and the day after that. Units geared for close combat with no external weapons give me no choice but to damage their chassis. But even then, there is an order to things. If I destroy parts that present a threat, such as their motor functions or limbs, the match should be considered as won. Soon afterwards, the buzzer signaling the end of the test echoes, just as I expect. I catch myself rushing over to the unit collapsed on the ground. I've only destroyed the unit's arms and legs. It's still conscious. But I realize I do not know its unit number. I'm at a loss to how to address the unit. The opponent asked me a question that I did not expect.
You seemed to deliberately avoid attacking the face or the neck in that battle. Why?
Huh?
I momentarily am at a loss for words. What the unit says is true. There is no damage to its face. I review my actions during the battle and find that at no point did I attack its neck either. The cranial region is where the plume of dusk is housed. It is destroyed in any type of unit. That unit will fall. Aiming to disarm an opponent is effective, but targeting weaknesses is obviously the more effective tactic. And yet, I avoided doing so.
I dunno.
Researchers enter the chamber and I hide the unit from my field of vision. I could not determine whether my last words had an effect on the opponent's expression or not.
These past 3 days, it hasn't been destroying the other units beyond repair, like it did in the first battle.
It must be learning to finesse its attacks rather than just using brute force. The result? Swift, overwhelming victories.
Its evasive skills are improving as well. That level of flexibility in evasive action could never be replicated by chaining predefined maneuvers.
This unit's collected a good amount of feedback data too. It's growing steadily, feeding on the bones of its kills.
You don't have to say it like that.
Researchers are preparing for the download. Growing. Destroying them and absorbing their data. That's what growing is? Since I thoroughly destroyed a few of my opponents these last few days, some of their bodies were salvaged. While I downloaded their data, I always kept their still bodies within view. Just as the combat tests were repeated, my actions outside each night are repeated as well. I become aware that I am seeking out 024 of my own will lately. When I attempt to communicate with other units, most often they cannot understand the meaning of my questions. This prevents us from conversing. But that may not be the only reason. I want to converse with 024. I begun to desire it. When I go to see 024, the white dog I saw on my first day we met appears from somewhere.
This one seems to have been raised as a pet somewhere far away from here. But one day, it was brought to the forest near here and its owner suddenly disappeared.
It seems unlikely that 024 obtained such a detailed history of a stray animal from the research staff. Was all this information obtained by communicating directly with the animal? From a dog that does not speak human language?
Its name is apparently Snowy. At least, that's the name it responds to the most.
I thought it was a dog.
Oh, well, the name of this animal is a dog. But how do I put this? Snowy is what this specific dog is called.
Snowy.
Snowy barks once, as if comprehending its name.
It's white, like snow. Easy to remember.
When I reach out my hand, Snowy rubs its nose against it without being frightened. The way it presses at my fingers feels as if it's showing pride in its name. I do not know the tactical advantage that communicating with animals offers to a weapon, but I feel there is value in spending time with it. I decide to spend my outdoor activity time that day following Snowy around with 024. It's an outdoor activity time on the next night. When I arrive at the outdoor area, I'm listening to a certain sound. I hear this sound intermittently for every 4 to 7 seconds. I had wondered about the unknown ambient sound since the first day, but I determined it wasn't a threat, and then focused my consciousness on other things. Tonight, I increased my microphone sensitivity to maximum and concentrate on that sound. It is similar to something familiar. I scan my memories until I realize what it is. It's the sound of water. I hear it when the staff use a device to clean their hands and tools. The waveform has some similarities to that. But if the sound is at this volume in such an open space, the volume of water must be higher than a normal supply would allow for. What could it be? I contemplate asking 024. It's clear that 024 knows much more than I do. I begin walking in search of 024. Where could 024 be? I go to where we spoke a number of times previously, but 024 is not there. 024 is also not at the rock where we sat together. Is 024 not here? I quickly discard the possibility. We are not ordered what to do while we are here, but coming to this outdoor area is in order. If post-testing diagnostics show no abnormalities, we are all to report directly here. I consider this. If there are no abnormalities, I feel a twinge in my chest. It is larger than ever. 024 will be here if there are no abnormalities. But what if there were such abnormalities? What if 024 was damaged during the combat tests? And sustaining damage is not necessarily the extent of the problem. Could it be... I realize that my arms are trembling slightly. It is not a conscious movement. I cannot make it stop. Is it possible that perhaps 024 lost in a combat test and was destroyed? In these circumstances, it would be expected for such a day to come. What is 024? What if she never came here again?
Oh, this is where you went. You weren't at the usual spot, so I was looking for you.
Until I hear the voice from behind me, my sensors had stopped accepting input. No sound, no light, nothing. All of them come back online with their voice. I turn around. 024 furrows her brows and looks into my face.
What's wrong? The look on your face seemed as if you saw something frightening.
My face? My expression? Frightening? Am I scared?
I do not comprehend. I cannot make that judgment.
Are you perhaps scared of fighting?
Nah, I don't think that's it. What is this? I can't tell.
Am I scared? Scared of what? That she will disappear? During an operation, it is possible that I might assign greater priority to other units' safety than my own. But we're not on an operation now. And this emotion is not the same anyway. It's a different emotion. An emotion? I have emotions? I look to 024's face pleadingly, but I cannot put my question into words. I can express my feelings to her. And though 024 sees this, she says nothing. She only smiles tenderly. It's the same smile she showed once. It looks happy, but also sad. During that night's outdoor activity time, neither 024 nor I speak much. We just walked together side by side, without saying anything. I do not take the opportunity to ask her about the intermittent sound of water. It is the next day. I detect some sort of weight in my chest. I'm aware that there's no physical weight there. It's most likely a psychological phenomenon. I perform a vocabulary search. The idiom of being heavy-hearted applies best. I cannot help but find it amusing. It is a very apt phrase. But what is causing this heavy-heartedness? That I may not see 024 someday? That may be it. But I do not think that is all. Over the next few days, I spent my time without finding an answer to this question. Each night after the combat test, when it's time for outdoor activities, I seek out 024 first, and each time I confirm her presence, I feel an indescribable sense of relief and rush over to her. We exchanged standard greetings in the first few days, but that practice was eventually discarded. Now there are no special greetings between us. We can understand each other without words. Our eyes and expressions communicate enough. Tonight I find 024 and rush to her as usual. There are no words, only exchange of smiles. We begin walking together.
Do you remember me asking before if you were scared of fighting?
I nod.
To tell the truth, I'm scared of it too.
Her confession is surprising. It is counter to our nature as weapons. Yet for some reason I am not surprised by it.
I'm afraid I'll lose and be destroyed, and it's painful for me to make others go through the same ordeal. We may be weapons, but shouldn't we be driven by more than seeking victory? I've been wondering that for a long time.
But that's against orders.
024 gives a half-hearted smile.
I'm sure things would probably be much simpler if I stopped thinking and just obeyed orders. Unfortunately, I finally found it. I found my answer.
Your answer?
There's someone I want to meet. I feel like meeting this person is my own objective and not an order given to me.
Since we've never left this facility, we have absolutely no acquaintances with outside people. There should be no relationship. But I immediately understand. The person she wants to meet is someone on the outside, even though I don't know why I thought so. But when I reflect upon that thought, the indescribable wavering within me becomes greater than ever.
Ever since I started thinking that I was scared to fight, each day was painful for me. If I'm going to feel this way until the day I lose, I even thought it would be better if I lost on purpose. But I won't think that anymore. I feel glad now that I exist. I mean, we're loved after all.
Loved?
That's right.
I repeat that to myself. The word loved. I do not comprehend. But when I look at her gaze, her clear eyes seem to see something beyond the sky. Her statement seems correct. I feel that this must be something vital. As I watch her try to express something without words, it is hard to believe that she is the same unit type as me. It seems more that she is human.
Why are you telling me this?
It's probably because I didn't think anyone but you would understand.
Well, I hate to say it, but I'm not sure I really get it either.
I'm sure you'll understand one day. I hope so anyway.
Sheesh. Why you gotta be so cryptic?
024 laughs at this. It's the pure smile that I have cataloged. I know without comparing it to anything that is a smile of pure joy. I detect Snowy playing at my feet. After playing a 024 feet 4's feet 2, Snowy runs off about 3 meters and turns around. Its tail moves vigorously back and forth. Soon afterwards, Snowy sits on the ground and looks up at 024. I watch 024 and crouch and pat its head. I'm thinking back about other things. Things besides fighting and defeating the nearest enemy. My own objective. Someone to meet. I still do not fully comprehend. But the way she is playing with Snowy tonight looks more fun than ever. Her smile seems very natural. If the answer she discovered is the origin of that smile, I would like to understand it too someday. I can feel that desire budding inside me. Once again, I participate in combat tests. Once again, I claim victory without destroying my opponent. I target only her weapons and limbs. I elect not to employ the tactic of targeting the weakness in their cranial regions. I believe that if they think the same things I do, they would not wish for their personality modules to cease functioning. Though, even if I do not destroy them, the research staff will remove their plumes of darkness. Either way, their functions will be suspended. My actions are difficult to justify, but I feel that suspension through destruction is not a suitable end for them. That is what I think when I rationalize it by applying the criteria to myself. I do not think that anyone would want their consciousness to be terminated by those like them. I find myself more conscious of the damage I sustain and my efficiency in combat than ever. Depending on my results, I may be ordered to destroy them. To prevent that from happening, I must continue fielding favorable results. It becomes easy to continue fighting with that objective in mind. That is becoming my new objective. I'm theoretically being tested on destroying my opponents, but I've begun fighting so that they will not be destroyed. Paradoxically, this has caused my results to improve. Would this be considered going against orders? My strike shatters the servos in the opponent's pivot leg. She falls to the ground, unable to stay upright. Her weapon has already been destroyed. She should be incapable of resisting now. But the buzzer signaling the end of the test does not sound. As I wonder why, I hear a grating metallic sound from the opponent. She leaps onto me with one good arm and leg.
What's the matter, number 031? Hurry up and terminate the target.
I do not know what to do. My opponent is acting contrary to her own safety. I grant that this is the only action left to her, but she will destroy herself before inflicting any damage to me. A tactic that puts one's life at risk like that. Putting one's life at risk? What am I saying? We are weapons. We exist to obey orders. We cannot prioritize our own self-preservation without a change in those orders. That's why she's challenging me to a fight. She will do so until all of her circuits and servos burn out, and she becomes incapable of action. As she grapples with me, I put my hands to her neck and squeeze. I adjust my grip strength limiters to 70% of maximum. The opponent's body makes an abnormal sound. After this, I sense the main lines of the bridge unit snap in half inside the soft structure. Her movement stops. Her limbs go flaccid, indicating loss of consciousness. I can see my reflection in her optic inputs. They have lost their focus and look like black holes. I gasp. The face I see reflected in them is not expressionless. How should this expression be classified? I've seen it somewhere sometimes when 024 smiles. This face indicates sadness. The buzzer signaling the test end finally rings. The researchers enter the chamber. I'm used to this scene now.
Now that was pretty impressive. You think it's because of the size of her plume? Funny that one little part could make such a difference.
Indeed. Most of it is due to differences in their tactical mentalities. It may be on the cusp of what we would call an ego.
Considering how everything's been going so far, I'm starting to believe more in persona abilities.
One little part. It is true that the plume of dust installed in me is comparatively the largest among units of my type. But does the part determine everything about us? 024's smile seems much more human than mine. I find myself opening my mouth to speak, but I realize that the statement I am about to deliver is a protest. I'm quick to abort. What was I? Was I about to deny this test authority? They speak to me. My confusion seems to have gone unnoticed.
Well done, unit number 031. That was an impressive display of destruction. Plus, you cleanly severed its transmitter, leaving the plume of dusk unharmed. That's certainly ending things on a high note.
Ending things on a high note? An act of destruction is a high note? The researchers look at each other while holding the petri dish with the bluish-white plate-like object. One of them says, "This is the one."
All right, number 031. As of today, the test battles are finished.
Huh? It's over?
I cannot help but questioning the unexpected statement.
All the results indicate that you have the very highest performance out of all the units of your model.
I'd say we can go ahead and earmark unit number 031 to be the base for developing the 5th generation.
The base?
It means that you're the winner.
Combat tests are over. Will I no longer be required to fight? A strangely intense sensation of relief fills me. It's not because I won and earned some kind of reward. If the tests have ended, those of my unit type that are not yet destroyed can escape their fate. Interesting. It seems I was reluctant to destroy them after all. My priorities have become inverted. Yet I am so happy that I smile. The researchers note this expression as well and smile back.
Okay, we're going to begin the usual review of the feedback. So come over here.
When the download begins, their memories and thought of my recent opponent flow into me along with vivid images. Just sifting through the battle data has become a routine I have repeated so often that I'm barely conscious of it now. I peruse the non-combat memories she preserved. It is the landscape of the outdoor area again. At first I can only vaguely recognize it, but now I can pinpoint exactly where this memory's from. It's near the biggest tree. The memory is of flowers. There are images of a small shoot, a budding plant, and a blossoming flower. You must have had an interest in the concept of growth. For we machines, the growth of individuals is an unknown concept. But one of us took an interest where I had only seen it as part of the landscape. It seems that she, too, had her own thoughts on related to our orders and battle performance. She simply did not show it. I recall what 024 said, my own objective, and not an order given to me. The twinge in my chest returns. I'll make sure to hold tight to your memories. That was the thought that formed in my mind. Once again, it is time to spend time outdoors. I quickly meet up with 024. It seems she was looking for me as well.
Hey, can I talk to you for a while? The lab boys told me today that they were putting the kibosh on the test battles.
I see. It's over then.
Look, I've been thinking. If they end up tossing us out soon because of that, I want to go with you to go see that person you were talking about. The one you wanted to meet. I might even put in a formal request about it to the lab boys.
024 takes my right hand. Before I can determine her intent, she pulls a cable from her wrist and connects it into a port of my own. She looks at my face in silence. Thinking that she wants to confirm that the tests are in fact over, I nod. But the data that transfers is from her to me. Packets that flow through the cable form a single, very small archive file.
If you are still safe when everything is over, open this file.
024 removes the cable, but keeps hold of my hand.
What do you mean, when everything is over? How come I can't look at it now?
If I had to answer, I would say because it wouldn't be fair.
Fair?
She smiles and does not answer. It's the same unsure expression. It is a smile. There is sadness in it.
It would be wonderful if I could go with you to see her.
Her? So this person you're looking forward to meeting is a girl?
But it's strange. Even though my wish may not come true, I still feel satisfied for some reason. How bizarre. It's a fervent wish of mine, too.
She looks toward the sky and smiles faintly. This time it contains more than sadness. There are too many emotions for me to parse, all reflected in that one expression.
I believe in you. I can tell you this because I trust you. Maybe that's why I feel so at peace.
Huh?
Maybe this is what it is to feel alive.
Alive? It has happened again. I do not comprehend the meaning of the word, yet I feel a twinge inside. I look at the sky and attempt to follow her gaze. There's nothing there to hint at our meeting, but I still wanted to get closer to her. She wishes for me to understand. I want to grant her her wish. I don't know. I mean, I could double check myself. And that's why they call it Cliffhanger. I mean, I'm live on Twitch. But yeah, if I like go and I search up yeah, no, I see it. It's like the top result. Otherwise, you get my streams from a few days ago if you just search up my name. What if I do Persona 4 Arena Ultimax. No results found. Am I in the right category, maybe? I might be in the wrong category. Here, I can double check that. No, I'm in the right category. Huh, that's weird. Let me just double check that. Live channels, no results found. Huh, that's weird. It says there's a viewer, though. Yeah, that's weird. I don't know. Looks like it's showing, like, me, but it won't show, like, me in the category, which is weird. Well, I'll tell you this, there's a reason I stopped streaming exclusively on Twitch. It's really hard for anybody to find you, unless you have, like, at least 5 or 6 people watching you anyway. Yeah, I don't know why it's being like that. She wishes me for me to understand. I want to grant... Okay. That's when I noticed that the moon has appeared from behind the laboratory buildings. I see. I thought the light emanating from the plumes of dust reminded me of something. I now know what it is. It's very similar to the light of the moon in the night sky. Yeah, that's what I figured. It reminded you of. Don't worry, I think we're almost through the prologue for Labris here, so I probably won't read out all the internal dialogue when I, Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure why that is. But I probably won't read out all the entire internal dialogue when we get to the actual, like, main plot again, because it'll probably be a lot of repeat stuff, but I figured it'd be good to read out at least the prequel stuff, just like we did with, or the prologue stuff, just like we did with Mitsuru. The sun rises and the new day arrives. After coming out of standby, I'm ordered to enter the shock-resistant chamber once again. From what I'm told, it's for a different purpose than the combat tests. Soon afterwards, the 3 researchers who supervise the feedback downloads appear.
Sounds like it's decided. We'll discontinue use of the name Unit Number 031. Generation 5 Labris will be this unit's new name.
Labris.
That's your name. The official one's much longer. Generation 5 Anti-Shadow...
5th generation anti-shadow suppression weapon Labris. How hard is that to remember?
Labris.
The designation by a name that is not a number. I never questioned being called 031 until now. Nothing about it seemed awkward. But I wonder why. I'm happy now to have acquired a name. Even if my designation changes, it will not have a concrete effect on my abilities. But, by discarding my number for a name, I feel as I'm no longer one of a series with minute variations. I'm a discrete individual. That may be why. I find myself smiling as a result.
From now on, the battles you fight will not be to test your performance. They'll be geared toward drawing out a persona. First, you will fight all the remaining units of your model type. Your objective is to destroy them. Every last one.
Huh?
I'm perplexed at the disconnection between their tone and a voice in the specifics of the order. Fight against all my remaining units of my model type? Destroy every last one of them?
The fear impulse and self-preservation instinct seem to be the key to activating a persona. This is the most effective method of inducing extreme mental stress.
Stress? Come on, you don't have to go this far.
Huh? Well, that's a first. None of them have ever protested like that. Well, at least that's a sign that its ego is developing.
You told me it was over. I thought I wouldn't have to do these things anymore.
You...
Ain't there some other way? If there is, please, let me do that instead. I don't want to fight him anymore.
The 3 researchers look at me with apparent surprise on their faces. Did my protest get through to them? I hope so, but...
That's a surprise. Such natural speech patterns. I hadn't thought its personality would develop this fast.
All the data's being recorded now. Let's compare them and look at which stages they improve at.
They smile while muttering to themselves. I am at complete loss for words. They're not machines, but humans. And on top of that, they are my creators. Surely they're able to understand what I'm saying. Yet their current expression... Until now, I thought they were understanding people who treated us as close to human. I was wrong. I'm only an object to them. No matter what I say, they will only see it as a response to stimulus. Beside their gentle attitudes, we are nothing more than test subjects they have no emotional attachment to. They do not focus on what I'm saying. They are only interested in it as a reaction. The researchers ignore my stunned silence and hastily leave the chamber. Their figures are hidden behind the hatch. Soon, with a terrible low-pitched sound, the hatch on the other side begins to open, right where the opponents come through. I will be forced to fight again today and in days to come. I must continue to destroy my opponents each time. I cannot find the words I want to say. I slowly turn my head towards the hatch, but when I see what I see there truly leaves me at a loss for words.
No.
The opponent emerging from the hatch is heretofore. There's no smile or sadness on her face. She's quietly standing there, expressionless. Heretofore steps into the chamber while gazing at my face. The hatch slowly closes behind her.
No. Why?
Even I do not know who the question is addressed to. Why is she here? Because she was ordered. Do I have to fight her now? It's not quite sinking in yet, but in a sharp tone I have never heard from her before, she tells me what I must do.
Draw your weapon.
I can't.
If you don't fight, you'll lose. I will end up destroying you. Are you willing to accept that?
Why? Why are you saying this stuff?
Heretofore ignores my question and reaches behind her back with her right hand. The multi-use weapon unit releases from her back and becomes a great sword in her right hand. It's approximately 1.5 meters, as long as she is tall. It's also alarmingly wide and fitted with propulsion devices. It's difficult to process seeing the weapon pointed at me.
If you fear being destroyed, if you have a heart capable of fear, then there's no need to hesitate. That alone gives you the right to attack me with all your strength.
But doesn't the same go for you?
I cannot help but plead. 024 does not answer, but it appears that a very small smile forms on her
You
lips.
said there was someone you wanted to meet. I can't fight you knowing that.
I turn and appeal to the researchers watching us from the other side of the glass wall.
Come on! Stop this! I don't want to fight anymore!
I press against the transparent wall and continuously strike it with my fist. Though my safety limiters are disabled, it must be coated with something. I cannot even scratch it. The researchers standing on the other side are completely expressionless. It's as if they're watching. It's as if they are machines themselves. I beg and plead, but they do not respond. If only there wasn't the clear glass wall between us. I'm so frustrated. Why? I hear then hear 024 speak up weakly behind me.
Only one of us can exit this chamber.
Huh?
They never told you, since you were strong enough, that battles never lasted very long. But that's the rule of this place. The only time the door leading beyond that transparent wall opens is when one of us is considered unable to fight. From the start, this whole setup never took our feelings into account.
I can say nothing. I can see from her words what atrocious battles were forced upon her.
But talking like this is a waste of time. I can see I won't spur you into fighting with just words alone.
As soon as she finishes, 024 leaps into the air, swinging her sword at me. I quickly jump back and barely dodge the attack. Her sword slashes the space where I had been at a speed that it could have killed me. The tip grazes the chamber floor. Red sparks fly. She's serious. It finally sinks in. I jump away to put distance between us.
I don't intend to meekly accept my destruction. I have my own goal after all. Now, fight me.
I have no choice but to fight. But a thought crosses my mind. In terms of basic combat strength, mine is probably higher. Using my usual tactics, I should have been able to destroy her weapons and stable enough of her servos to prevent her from attacking. 024's ego is without a doubt more highly developed than mine. It must be of value to the researchers. If I can render her incapable of acting, I may be able to avoid the order to destroy her when she's down. I decide to bet on that possibility. I shift my priorities and fight back with all my strength. I cannot do this empty-handed. I remove my own multifunction weapon from my back and shape it into a battle axe. It pains me to do this, but it's the only way. I repel 024's persistent sword strikes and go for a counterattack. I aim for the great sword's clasp with my battle axe. After a number of hits, it shatters. My next target is a transmission system for her shoulder and knee joints. In terms of output and movement itself, I detect various differences between us. Amongst those of my unit type, I awaken latest. Compared to 024, not only my personality module, but my limbs as well, have been upgraded to the latest versions. It's only a matter of time. 024 loses virtually all offensive capabilities and falls to the floor. As I planned, 024 is mostly undamaged apart from her weapon and motor functions. I immediately turn towards the research behind their visible wall and raise my voice.
Isn't this enough? She had that ego thing way before me. Destroying her won't do anyone any good. Come on, have a heart.
But hearing this, the researchers only laugh. Their faces are joyous when they see results that surpass their expectations. Why? What in this situation could cause joy? 024's body, collapsed on the floor, suddenly begins to convulse. It goes still for a few seconds. Then, although it should not be able to move, it drags itself up.
Huh? What the?
Unpleasant metallic sounds are coming from all over her body. It indicates that she's undergoing unreasonable stress. Still no expression appears on 024's face. It's a cold, doll-like void. It's similar to an appearance to a newly activated unit. I know as soon as I look at her. She would never make a face like this on her own.
What did you do to her?
It'll be coming at you with everything it has now. You better not hold back either. Number 024 had an excellent record against others of its model. Even you might have a hard time beating this one, Labrys.
I unconsciously find myself biting my lip. We are weapons. In other words, we are tools. Of course, there would be a means to issue orders remotely. I recall what the one researcher said. This is the most effective method of inducing extreme mental stress. In other words, the more strongly I desire 024's survival, the stronger my reaction will be when I'm forced to destroy her. That's why they laughed. I can sense the strength draining away from my shoulders. There's nothing more I can attempt. All I can do is enter. Behind me, 024, or rather her animated shell, approaches me, its limbs shaking. I suppress all thoughts unrelated to tactics and slowly turn around. My body goes cold, my arms move into position, as if controlled by someone else and ready my weapon. It was not a close fight. Once I had decided to finish this, once I was resolved to stop her, 024 as she is now, stood no chance against me. I fall to my knees next to 024. Her limbs have been shattered. She will never rise again. My processors are overloaded with things I cannot understand. I feel as if all processing has slowed. 024's face is turned to the ceiling.
Hey, are you not gonna look at me anymore? You're not gonna smile again?
I did not expect her to respond, but 024's face moves slightly. I stare at her without knowing how to react. She turns her gaze to me and smiles.
I'm sorry to leave you alone. I leave the rest to you.
Those were the last words she spoke. I can't believe this. There's a smile on 024's dead face. She's smiling at the one who destroyed her and then robbed her of her dream. All at once, everything hits me in a torrent of emotion and data. I've lost her. I did it. I took everything from her. My vision begins to fade. My thoughts go along with it. I cannot determine whether the lights are actually dimming or if that's only my perception. Too much to handle. I collapse to the ground helplessly, like a crumbling statue. The next time I awaken, I am lying inside a cage. It seems I was carried out of the test chamber. The download of 024's feedback data is about to begin. The researchers seem to have taken my sudden loss of consciousness seriously. I'm confined in a cage instead of sitting in the usual maintenance chair. The researchers kept repeating the word interesting. So this is how they react when extreme mental stress is induced. I can hear their voices clearly. They seem to derive pleasure from the fact that I lost consciousness due to mental stress rather than physical damage. Cables are connected to my body one after another. The data download begins. All of 024's information, combat data, various records, and the memories she experienced, all of it flows into me. My eyes widen in surprise. Everything is so vibrant. It's so clear that it's indistinguishable from actually experiencing them. This is the first time I've received memories of such vivid images. All the images are linked to records of the emotions she felt in relation to them. They're so strongly linked that any screening protocols cannot distinguish them from human thought. The outdoor area where we spent time, the big tree whose branches we examined, the sound of water we heard periodically, slowly, Snowy running around and playing. As I relive 024's experiences, I pick up on an unfamiliar voice. There's no associated image data. Only the voice can be heard. It's a female voice. There's a female researcher at this facility, but this voice belongs to a younger person, still in human developmental stages. Mitsuru.
I
Right?
know the world is a big place. And I know that there's a lot of people in it.
Oh, no?
But I won't be able to see it for myself. Or meet many of them. I know that, too. I'm too weak for that.
Her speech is different from the researchers and those of my unit type. It is very similar to my own speech output.
Thinking about it has made me sad more than once. But I didn't want to do nothing and be left with regrets. That was when my mom and dad looked into some options. And we decided to go with this experiment. If even a sick girl like me could make herself useful to others in this world, I thought I ought to go for it.
Who could this be? I only know that she's female. She's in a situation where a condition prevents her from moving freely. It seems that instead of lamenting that fact, she has decided to volunteer for an experiment of some kind. Where did 024 hear this voice? Did she know this person? I wish I could ask her, but that is no longer possible.
At first, I kept wondering how much I could really contribute. But after hearing more and more about the program, I started to wonder about the others more than myself.
Others? It is strange, but when I hear that, I feel 024's heart waver. Was she surprised? Perhaps. Even I feel something unexplainable.
And yeah, my big wish is to make myself useful to this world. But the ones born from me... Is born the right word for it? Kind of embarrassing. My other wish is that the ones born from me are happy. I doubt I'll be able to talk to them in person
Oh
or stay
no.
with them.
Oh no.
I still wish from the bottom of my heart that they all have happy
Oh no.
lives.
Oh fudge. No. No. Oh no. People's voices have unique characteristics. In the past, I would have expressed it as a variance in waveform, but each has what could be called its own texture and temperature to it. This voice sounds very warm and kind. I would like to listen to more of it, but the speech ends there. There are no more related memories from 024. While the cables disconnect, I decide to search the archives for results matching that voice. Sadly, there are no results, but during the search, I suddenly remember something. The archive given to me by 024 last night. I quickly opened the folder and find a single text file inside.
If you are reading this, then I have most likely been destroyed. It may be that you already understand the concept of guilt, but you have done nothing wrong.
You are still safe when everything is over. She must have meant if I defeated her in combat. 024 knew what would happen to those who had lost in the trial. What emotions was she feeling then? What was going through her mind as she prepared this file? I feel something wrench inside my chest.
I happened to access certain data during the feedback treatment and learned something. Artificially creating a personality from scratch is very difficult, though they hope to achieve it in 2 generations. But those of our model were actually made from the template of a certain girl's personality. That includes you and I. She had left a recording for the units created using her personality. A message for those of us who did not yet exist. That's what I heard. She speaks in a strange way, like you. I thought, we really are connected to her.
I think about that unknown voice. The experiment the voice spoke of was related to our development after all. The owner of that voice was speaking to us.
The one who gave birth to us loved us. When I understood that, I felt like my eyes were opened. Though my life was filled with suffering, my birth had meaning. I firmly believe that. I want to meet her. I need to tell her thank you for giving birth to us and for loving us. This was not an order from the scientists. It was an objective I made for myself. So if you can understand my feelings, I'd like you to do this in my stead. Give our mother my thanks.
How 024 must have wanted to meet this girl, who she saw as our mother. She must have longed to thank the girl in person. The data within me, her heart tells me so. During the time when she was ordered to destroy her sisters, this wish must have been her only hope. Yet it did not come true. Shattered it. One she herself said was the only thing who understood her. She must have been devastated. But the letter ends in a way I least expected.
Though we knew each other for only a short time, I'm glad I met you. I feel the same right now as our mother did. I wish from the depths of my heart for you to be happy.
I'm shocked. How can she feel that way towards someone who may one day destroy her? I realized then that the visual input from my optics is experiencing distortion for some unknown reason. An unfamiliar source of water trickles down my cheek.
Labras, is she crying?
So she is. I can't believe we're actually seeing a machine being driven to tears.
But its mental graphs are clearly abnormal. What kind of information did it download?
Who knows? That's one thing the graphs can't tell us.
We should take care to limit our studies to just the battle data. It doesn't need any sentimental memories. You can delete those. Why make a weapon so emotional that it can cry?
Bruh, these guys are idiots. It's so stupid. Because you could make these people more believable. As it is, they're just cartoonishly evil. Delete them? Something roars within me. It drowns out the feelings for 024 and our mother that had filled my heart.
Delete! Like hell you're deleting my memories!
Under no circumstances will I allow what 024 left to me to be deleted for their convenience. I will not forgive this selfishness. We have been treated callously by the research in this laboratory. They gave us parts, yet made us destroy those of our unit type as enemies. We killed our sisters at their command. If we refused, our desires were overridden and we became their puppets. The wishes of the girl who desired our happiness were not taken into consideration. Now, even the few memories that 024, my sisters, and I have accumulated are about to be erased like trash. Their aim isn't to develop our ego. They find it inconvenient for us to have real hearts. These feelings within me may be erased. Perhaps, too, my heart itself. If that happens, I will resume killing my sisters without hesitation. What's least forgivable is the fact that the proof 024 had lived, her last wishes, will be permanently lost. My hands squeeze in tight fists. They're making a small grinding noise. The goal that heretofore found for herself was left to me. I will carry it out on my own now. I will burn it into my heart as my goal. It is a duty I impose on myself gladly. Nothing will make me surrender it. It must be fought for. Or rather, it must be protected, even if it means fighting.
What the? Its emotions are spiking into the red. I've never seen anything like this.
Hey, what's that warning? No. Labrys is in battle mode?
What? That can't be. There aren't any enemies. We're the only ones here.
I am able to release all my limiters despite being in the cage. The research monitoring on their tablet PCs seems perplexed and alarmed by this. They should be. They are witnessing an override of the principle of non-aggression towards humans. They are flustered and too panicked to speak clearly as they announce that emergency has occurred. One of them steps away from the cage I'm in and reaches for a switch with the warning labels around it. Suddenly, restraints appear to bind my limbs.
Are you saying those mental fluctuations were enough to override the OS's restrictions?
That plume's playing pranks on us. Hey, hurry up and delete those memories.
These memories and my heart are not unnecessary.
What do you think we are?
Something I have not felt until now. A sensation like heat spreads throughout my body. A trembling, burning wave rises within me. Soon afterwards, I realize this is emotion. There's a name for this feeling. It's anger. I reroute all my strength into my restrained limbs. The restraints are designed to withstand up to twice our calculated maximum output. Trying to escape, therefore, is logically doomed to failure. Even so, I must continue to muster my strength. It's not because I judge it a viable course of action. I'm not merely executing an order. I'm acting based on my emotions. It does not matter if the restraints can be destroyed or not. I wish to destroy them. Metal parts in both my limbs and the restraints begin to creak.
How's it doing that? There's no way those things are strong enough to break the restraints.
It's outputting over 220% of its theoretical strength limit, even though its joint actuators are operating at only 70% capacity.
That's not possible. That doesn't even make any sense. What's driving this thing?
I'm not gonna let you take those memories. I made her a promise.
The next moment, a rupturing sound like a small explosion shakes the entire room. The heavy metallic bands restraining my arms and legs shatter. I jump out of the cage and run towards the open door. I must escape from here. I have yet to get out and see the girl who loved us, though we were not yet created, to fulfill 024's wish, which has now become mine. But when I entered the hallway connected to the outdoor area, I met with barricades and heavy artillery. My sister units and I have never been equipped with firearms. I recall it being due to concerns over a unit's mentality affecting the accuracy of its aim. Instead, we are given short-range weaponry, a chain arm, and other implements in my case, but they're not sufficient to deal with the range of firearms. However, I do have a countermeasure. By using the flexibility and adapting to situations in my devout mind, I dodge the complex projectile trajectories and destroy the opposition. Eventually, I reach the end of the hallway and exit the outdoor area. I have not seen this environment before. The trees are the same species as those grown near the facility, but these specimens are much larger. Where am I? The question does not cross my mind until now. So, I'm not sure if this is true or not, but I'm wondering if this tree here is or the large tree that they talk about is the same one from the Aegis game. Remember the Aegis mobile game has a giant tree that part of the plot happens in and where you fight the final boss? Maybe not. It's hard to say. I mean, presumably there would have been the opportunity to at least play that game, and it would have informed their decisions when they probably would have gotten a synopsis of that so that they could at least be consistent with that when developing Labrys' story, right? So it is possible that this is the same island or whatever that Aegis is on during that game. Not important, but just thought it was interesting. Where am I? Where are we? I cannot use the GPS that should be installed in me. It seems the research facility blocks GPS signal outside of its walls. This is probably to prevent its location from being pinpointed. Is there anything in the environment that can help me determine my location? The blue sky that I'm seeing for the first time is stunning, but irrelevant. I notice a periodic sound of liquid in the distance. Ah, the sound of the ocean. The answer came easily to mind. One of my sisters must have taken an interest in it and learned what it was. My sisters are helping to keep me alive now. When I think of it that way, a burning feeling rises from deep within my chest. But none of what I can see in my surroundings is helpful. Is there anything else where I can determine my location? Any landmarks or signposts? I scanned my surroundings while running past. These trees obstructing my view. They are a unique species. That may be a hint. I review the tree's characteristics once more and run another search on them. I attempted this once already, but there's much more data available to me now. Once again, results come easily. This variety of trees is known as a cedar. It is found in many habitats, but the cedars here are unique. This tree's shape and age implies it's so different than that is nearly a separate species. If that is because of differences in the environment, it may be useful in determining my location. That's when an unfamiliar sound reaches my ears. The heavy rumble of what sounds like a motor. It seems they've dispatched a vehicle to pursue me. I expected this. Their response was swift. It seems they had measures in place in the event one of us escaped. When the vehicle stopped behind me, fully armed personnel pour out of it. They move to surround me from both the left and right. It's an obvious response. No matter how much power I have, I am alone. The optimal solution would be to overwhelm me with numbers. I try to shake them off by running faster. But soon afterwards I reach the main gate of the laboratory, a high steel edifice. It's tightly sealed. A number of heavily armed guards are protecting it. Stop. There's nowhere else to go.
Labrys, come back here. You're too useful a unit to destroy. You need to get back here to be regulated. That's your role in all this.
I cannot be destroyed here, but I cannot be captured either. They will surely delete my memories. They will take my wish and everything else that was given to me. What purpose even is there in avoiding destruction if that's what awaits me? The only options available are whether my wish dies with me or whether it's stolen away.
I ain't gonna let you destroy me. And not just because I don't want to be destroyed.
The moment I focus my concentration to remove the limiters on my onboard weaponry, I sense an unknown strength rise within me. Directly afterwards, something that cannot be quantified fills my body and the surrounding area.
Huh? What the?
The pursuit vehicle suddenly stops. The research staff gets off, one after another, shocked.
This reading, is it on the verge of a persona reaction?
Shit, it's awakened? Ah, damn it, why now?
Well, at least this proves that mental stress is the key to activating a persona.
Who cares about that right now? It's not fully awakened yet, but with it still unstable, we don't know what it's capable of.
I'm intrigued by their statements.
Persona?
I knew that we had the means, but I was not aware of controlling anything. I do not know if it could be called a power, nor do I know how to use it, but I can tell that the others are afraid. I seize the opportunity to run towards the main gate. There's a slight possibility that I can reach the door without attracting any gunfire, and vault over the door with my legs and chain arm. The moment I reach the gate, I launch my chain towards this upper threshold of the door, but the moment the arm grabs the ledge, something emerges. A much greater power touches the door as well. Suddenly, the door crumples like paper, and a large hole forms in the upper half.
Now it's done it!
We need to hurry! If it's that strong already, we won't be able to stop it once its persona completely awakens!
That's... persona.
I quickly regain my senses. I burst out of the facility and single-mindedly jump outside. My feet touch the ground of the outside world for the first time. They will most likely not let me escape. Fortunately, the door is badly damaged. It should take time until it can be opened enough for vehicles to pass through. I need to gain as much distance and time as possible, and then I realize I do not have a destination in mind. Who is the girl 024 I wish to see? Where can I go to meet her? The only clue I have is the idiosyncrasies of the girl's speech. I've learned that distinct speech patterns are often associated with specific regions. I should begin by traveling to where that style of speech is common. It's reckless, but I feel confident. At the very least, I can get closer to the girl than I am now. Although my situation is dire and I am under pursuit, internally I am cheerful. There's a bounce in my step. For some reason, I cannot remain calm. Just then, 5 meters ahead, something white and fluffy crosses my path. It's Snowy. It notices me and approaches. I'm worried about my pursuers, but I cannot dismiss 024's beloved Snowy. I lower my speed and run with it. I then notice the scenery we are passing has calmed. My surroundings are very different now. This blue sky that was previously obstructed by the trees is now clearly visible. The green grass is shining vibrantly in the light of the sun. There's a deeper blue than the sky ahead. Many lines of white run across it.
Is that the ocean?
Snowy barks as if in answer. I feel like it's saying, that's right. I could not previously comprehend Snowy. I did not have an interest in trying. But now I can grasp what Snowy is saying, as if I could speak its own language. I know that it feels happy to be able to run with me. It feels as if 024 is inside me. Though were forced apart, it certainly left me many things. Not only her wish, but other things as well.
I'll find her come hella high water. Are you with me, Snowy?
Snowy barks energetically. I respond with thanks and a smile. 024 and Snowy are encouraging me. Though I don't have any clues, I will find her. No matter what happens, or how long it takes. I search my current location once more. Now that I'm further from the research facility, I can use my GPS to triangulate my position. But on seeing the results, I cannot help but stop running. Snowy stops a little further ahead and then returns to me. My current location is Yakushima, within the Kokushima Prefecture, a remote island far from shore.
Whoa.
This island's perimeter is only 132 kilometers. In such a limited area, it'll be a matter of time before a full-scale manhunt apprehends me. Yeah, I guess we could double-check that previous island or whatever. If it's the same island that Aigis is on in her, like, mobile game. It probably is. I'm guessing it is. Because they were very specific about, like, where the island is. Like, what area of the country and, like, what it's called as well. So you could probably... I would probably guess that it's the same island. That would make sense. Which is interesting. The research facility must have been built on an island in anticipation of such situations. Even if someone were to escape the facility, the island's geography would contain them. It's essentially a natural prison. I do not want to believe it, but my hope was meticulously strangled before it was born. However, I cannot wait here to be captured. I begin running again. Though, as expected from my position, data, and map, I immediately reach the ocean.
So, this is the ocean. Ha! It's so huge. I can't see anything out there at all.
I look at the glistening surface of the ocean reflect the sun's light and ponder its beauty. I'm at a loss. Though I knew it would come to this, I could not stand idle. Despite this, my feelings sink. Snowy looks up at me from time to time as I stop running and begin walking. Its gesture of concern forces me to smile and tell it I'm alright. The forest becomes a grove. The trees grow sparser. A blue ocean and the sandy soil leading up to it spread before my eyes. I check my map again. This is not an uninhabited island. There is a mean for people to come and go. I doubt I will be able to use these methods freely without arousing any suspicion. I gaze down at my own hand. It is completely unlike a human hand. It's an object sculpted from metal.
Well, that's a problem. What should I do?
My question seems to dishearten Shadow.
Come on,
Or
don't
Snowy.
give me that look. Ah, well. Maybe it's my fault for getting so frustrated. Sorry, Pooch.
Just as I am about to crouch and pat Snowy's head, Snowy moves as if avoiding me.
Snowy?
Snowy circles around behind me and growls towards the way we just came. I train my sensors in that direction, sense presence in the distance. They may be keeping their distance on purpose. Since I have no firearms, I must understand that their effective range exceeds mine.
Looks like they're coming.
Amongst the human soldiers are a number of my sister units. It is possible I convince them... Is it possible that I can convince them not to fight me? I dismiss this idea as hopeless. Though they may have awakened to their ego, after my escape, they will be under the commander's control. Even if that is not the case, they may think that their orders are absolute, just as I once did.
Knowing why they're here doesn't make it any easier to deal with them.
It does not seem like as if they will attack all at once. They must understand that I'm already at the ocean and have nowhere to escape to. I do not want to surrender, but I'm frustrated by my own powerlessness. To be caught like this. I have my own mission to accomplish. The ocean sparkles. Periodic sound of water I once heard from afar echoes from it. As I gaze at the clear water while it ebbs and flows, a mysterious feeling arises in me.
Wow. Look at that. It's beautiful.
My opponents show no indication of moving. I step out onto the sand. After cataloging that sensation, I approach the pier, stretching to the ocean. When I step onto it, the wooden planks creak. I can hear Snowy's light tread behind me as well. I stand at the end of the pier and look out to the ocean. Oh! Wait! No? Maybe. Okay, no, never mind. I was gonna say, because, like, I just saw her earlier at the airport, but she was in a dress then. Or she appeared in a dress, similar to the one Aegis was wearing when we first met her. So I was wondering if the memories of the sister units that are pursuing her now eventually get passed down to Aegis, but she's not wearing a dress. Okay, never mind. Still, I wonder if she's beyond this ocean that seems to stretch forever. The girl 024 wanted to meet. The girl I wish to meet as well. This mother figure who loved us and wished for our happiness. While my thoughts turn to the girl whose face I do not know, I decide to preserve the ocean's beauty in my memory. After all, it may be the last time I will be able to see the ocean as myself. The odds are high that when I'm restrained and return to the facility, my memories will be wiped. I'm scared. I'm frustrated. I don't want to be erased. But I don't think all my hopes are lost yet. This may be the end of me. But just as I inherited the memories of 024 and other units, my memories will surely endure into the next generation. So I will keep these feelings, along with this beautiful ocean scene, deep within the origin of my heart. There it cannot be erased or tampered with. The blue sky and ocean, the shining sun and glittering water, and the gentle breeze and calm sounds of the waves. The scenery from this pier is so stunning that's unimaginable from inside the research facility. Glad I got to see this last place. I'm glad that the last place I got to see is so beautiful. With the ocean before me, I speak to my future sisters that I have yet to meet. I might be called a type of prayer.
To all the ones I'll never meet, but will receive my memories.
My emotions race ahead of my thoughts. I cannot find the right words to say.
There's so much I want to say to you that I don't know where to start.
I close my eyes and calm my heart. My descendants, whom I will probably never meet, if you ever find someone precious to you, as I did with 024, and wish to meet them, may you meet them here. May you go beyond this pier to places I could not.
I just pray from the bottom of my heart that everyone can find happiness. As long as that happens, I don't mind if I...
Even though my wish may not come true, I'm still satisfied if I can entrust it to someone I believe in. 024 says something along those lines.
Could this be it?
Snowy rubs against my leg. Is it warning me to be cautious of my pursuers who have arrived and are coming closer? Or does it only want me to pet it? I look closer and realize that's the latter. Must be worried. I crouch down and scratch Snowy's head.
Hey, Snowy. You think this is what it means to feel alive?
Snowy looks at me while wagging its tail. I pick up Snowy and gently hug it. Snowy shows no signs of resistance and allows me to do so. My pursuers are closing in now. But I will not run anymore. It is true that I'm still frustrated. That's strange. I'm also satisfied. Snowy licks my cheek.
Thanks. I'll be okay now. Things are about to get hairy, so you should hurry and get out of here.
I let Snowy go, but doesn't leave me.
Come on. If you don't go, it'll make things hard on me. Okay?
Snowy looks at my face for a while. Eventually, it droops its head and walks off. Snowy looks back several times, soon disappears into the tall grass. My relief is cut short by five armed humans pointing their guns at me. I have no intention of resisting. I smile at them. Though it was only a short while, I lived. Felt the happiness of passing down my wish. It was only for a brief moment in time, but I may have granted the wish of the girl who is our mother. I allow myself to be restrained without resistance. They take me back to the laboratory. I was so absorbed in my escape attempt, I didn't notice the severe damage I inflicted upon the facility. It seems the delicate machinery used to tamper with my memories is no condition to be used.
Damn it! Look at this mess! Going after humans? Oh, I bet the girl they used as a template for this model was a snotty brat too. Even if we delete its memories, it'll be too dangerous to keep using this unit.
There are so many things about it I want to research, though.
It's not worth the risks. The 5th generation anti-shadow suppression weapon will be sealed indefinitely once it's fully restrained again.
The voice is the last thing I heard before my consciousness was cut off.
Huh?
My consciousness should have been shut down, but I've awakened.
This place. It's that ocean.
I'm on that pier. Blue sky and ocean, the shining sun and glittering water, and the gentle breeze and calm sound of the waves. Even Snowy is next to me. The scene is identical to the one from before, though this time I sense no pursuers. I was captured. I remember that clearly. This is obviously an abnormal situation, at odds with my memories, but the clear blue sky and ocean are still so beautiful I cannot help but gaze at them. If only I could go beyond it. Just as that thought crosses my mind, my viewpoint ascends. Soon afterwards, I realize I'm floating as if my body is weightless. I'm astonished at myself to be thinking such strange things, but then my field of vision drifts and I turn my attention to that. The scenery I knew already begins to mix with the other environments I do not know. They become connected, continuous image, and pass like a slideshow. From time to time, I pass through the drifting images, but I cannot grasp anything within those spaces. Even when they're about to collide with me, they pass right through. Could this be dreaming? I remember something I once heard from a researcher at the facility. They said it's possible for us to dream, since we have a mind and may develop an ego. Though it would technically not be identical to humans' dream, the phenomenon would be very similar. I feel that the example the researcher gave of what a dream is like matches my current experience. If I am having a dream, then things are not possible in reality may be possible here. For example, if I can leave this island, if I can go beyond the ocean. The girl that 024 and I wanted to meet said that even though she knows the world is big, she would not be able to see it for herself. What could that have meant? Was she in a place that limited her world, as I was unable to leave the island? Just when it seems that the images floating around me have stopped, I find myself in an unknown room. There's a bed here. Next to it is a flat screen monitor. There are also white shelves surrounding the bed. To one side is a stand for an intravenous drip. There's a machine connected to it by cords. Though it's small, it appears to function as a life sign monitor. This is similar to the research facility. Could it be a hospital? The voices that sound from somewhere belong to a man and a woman. I've not heard these voices before.
She said during this morning's checkup that she wanted to go to school. She asked how much better she needs to get to be able to go.
Understandable. This ward is right near the road most of the students take. She must be lonely too, not having seen her parents lately. How much better she needs to get. She still doesn't know that her condition is incurable.
Why don't you be honest with her and tell her she won't ever be able to go? It's cruel to string her along like this.
Shh, keep your voice down. Her room's next door.
I understand at once that these people are speaking of the girl I wish to meet. The scene feels as if it comes from my own memory. I do not doubt it at all. The girl is suffering from some kind of illness. She may not be able to go outside. Her condition prevents her from leaving her small world. Her life is like ours. Could this girl have heard this conversation? How does it make her feel to hear it? I want to spend more time in the outside world. I want to live a normal life. The thoughts that come to my mind are not my own.
I wonder if the nurses thought things like the student council were too much trouble to bother with when they were in school. I don't know. It sounds fun to me.
Ah. Okay. Well, this explains, yeah, the whole student council president thing then. Just as I thought, it's the girl's voice. When I listen to her, I can sense her strong yearning and admiration. Also, this gives a canonical reason, Jeppo, why all the, at least of this generation, were female, is because they used her as a template. And it could also technically explain why they didn't go for more male-looking options in the future, since most of their previous data was based off of female, like, templates.
You gotta admire the student council president. I mean, they're the ones that get things done for everyone. But I guess it's because they're like that in the first place that they get to be president, huh?
Girl had strong desire. Half human, half shadow weapon? I mean, what would that look like? You mean like somebody loses an arm and they get like an Aegis arm attached to them as like an advanced prosthetic? Is that what you're talking about? Yes. I mean, I think you could give it as like an advanced prosthetic. That would work probably. I mean, maybe? I don't know. Because here's the thing, right? Like, you can make a robot arm, but that doesn't mean I can make you an arm that works the same as that robot. Because, like, it depends, like, with, like, real amputees, it depends on, like, the condition of the arm and like how much of it is left and like how much of the nerve endings are left. Like sometimes they will expose the nerve endings. We're getting to the point where we can kind of like use exposed nerve endings to simulate very basic motions with more advanced prosthetics. We still aren't like to the point where we can basically reconnect nerves to like artificial nerves by any means, but we can like figure out where a nerve ending would be on a like on somebody's like arm and then like correlate that with a movement in the prosthetic. And so when you would think about flexing your pinky, you can at least move the pinky on the prosthetic arm. It is pretty interesting. There are people I've seen like videos of people like explaining it on YouTube and stuff, like people who have prosthetics that are that advanced. It's interesting, but at least for right now, we don't have something that complex. I think that it would help, like the research done here would definitely help with the actual motor functions of a prosthetic. But the main issue is the control factor. How do you make something that can replicate human's ability to control a hand? Like, the hand is a very complex part of the human body. There's a lot of muscles and joints and everything in it, and it can move in very complex ways. How do you replicate that with a machine, and how do you hook into a human's already pre-existing like nervous system to do that? Like, that's the main issue. The issue is not that it... I mean, we still can't fully replicate a human hand, but we can replicate a hand that can do most of the basic movements that a actual human hand can do. But for amputees, the main issue comes down to how do you control that? So... the girl had a strong desire to attend school and live a normal school life with friends. As I reviewed these voices and feelings, an interest in the school she longs for grows within me.
High school. I wonder what that's like. Would it be fun?
I wish to see for myself what she desires. Is there a specific image of it? What kind of place is it? What kind of activities do its attendants perform while there? There's no memories in regards to schools. That must mean the girl has no such memories.
Figures. I don't know anything about schools or whatever else student life is like.
I want to see them.
I can show you if you so desire.
A voice answers my unspoken thought. Who could it be? I don't think I know this voice. For some reason, my mind becomes hazy. I cannot access my memories easily.
Huh? Who's there?
There's no need to be alarmed. I only want to give you a glimpse of the world you long to know.
I was under the impression that this was a dream. Dreams are supposedly a release valve for memories, yet this voice does not feel like a part of me. Is that even possible? As I ponder these things, the scenery around me changes completely. I first see a 3-story concrete building.
What?
I do not know this building. As I examine it, my surroundings change again. The same desks and chairs are lined up. In front of me is a dark green rectangular board on the wall.
Is this a school? A real classroom?
This is the place what the girl wished to see. It's here that I have gained an interest in. I find myself forgetting that this is a dream and focus my attention and senses to the desks and chairs. I then realize I can move around at will, just as when I felt my body rise at the beach.
So this is where classes happen.
I feel some excitement.
But what do the students do when there aren't any classes? Do they just talk and stuff?
That mysterious voice doesn't answer. Instead, I am surrounded by other sounds. Many voices are talking at once. It reminds me of the sound of waves near the ocean, but the sound is lively and enjoyable. The voices belong to boys and girls surrounding a desk. They're talking and laughing. They wear common clothing, though there are some differences. These may be uniforms. It's interesting to see that each person's uniform is distinct in some way. That student is the only one with something around his neck. A girl with short hair and a green jacket raises her right hand. Next to her is a girl with long black hair wearing a red jacket. She smiles. Then there is a well-built young man with strange spiky hair. In contrast to him, I see a small, delicate, intellectual-looking young man. Last, I see a young man with a calm demeanor sitting at a desk. The front of his uniform is open. His white shirt is showing. It seems like they're talking about something. I cannot quite discern what it is. The scene proceeds to show various points in a normal school day. Classes, activities, clubs, student council. It looks like so much fun that I can feel the excitement. Then I remember. This is all just a dream. I'm only dreaming. No matter how much I want it, there will never be a day when I can attend school for myself. All the scenes that I saw centered around the young man and his friends, I will never join their circle. I cannot go to school. I'm not even human. I consider the self-evident truth once again. Though I look human, I'm a machine made by humans. One sec. Sorry, somebody's trying to get my attention. You could probably see my lips moving, but you couldn't hear what I was saying. It does not matter how close my heart is to that of a human, or how much my ego develops. This mechanical body can never truly be human. Just as our mother cannot overcome the obstacle of her illness, no matter how much she wished for it. I cannot overcome the obstacle of being a machine. It's futile for someone who cannot become a human to yearn for a normal human life. There's a strange sensation somewhere in my chest that feels like pain. Still, although I am a machine created as a weapon, that girl loved me. What if there are other people like her who couldn't understand me? Would I then be able to find a place among them? Bigger, but
You'll never find a place where you belong. Humans created you as a tool. They would never think of you as anything more. Everyone, to a man, lives by averting their eyes from something inside them. They all wish to live inside a never-ending dream. For who has the right to say they shouldn't?
For just a moment, I sense an incongruity in the kind voice. The strange pain within my body softens a little.
There are even humans who do not understand others' feelings. Still others do understand, and trample upon them regardless. Compared to them, you are much more human.
I remember the researchers. They certainly did not understand me, heretofore, or my sisters. We were treated only as objects, even after they tried to give us a heart.
Why not then seek to be human?
Me? Be a human?
The voice winds gently inside my mind. I feel my body growing uneasily light, as if the world is spinning around me.
People sort through their memories in dreams. Each night they let go of painful memories and continue their lives with the morning sun. That's all you need do. Forget anything contrary to your desires.
If I forget...
Do not fear the act of letting go. The ones you admire wished only for you to be happy.
My mind seizes upon something. That precious wish. The desire given to me to meet our mother someday and tell her, thank you. I must not forget that. But as long as this wish is precious to me, as long as I cannot erase it from my heart, that I am not human will remain.
And I too. All I wish from the depths of my heart is for you to find joy.
Happiness.
Think back.
I wish from the depths of my heart for you to be happy.
Remember the girl who wished for our happiness. I want to grant that wish. I want to tell her thank you. That will be difficult for me now. In that case, should I not at least seize this opportunity and be happy here? For her sake?
Forget. And be happy.
Okay. My vision goes dark. The sounds I heard fade away. I feel as if I'm falling.
Everything is now in readiness.
Idiot. Readiness. Stupid villain. Alright. So who is this mystery villain anyway? Who's toying with Labrys's heart? Alright. We are finally out of the prologue! It only took 2 hours. We never figure out? That is ridiculous, Jeppo. You're lying to me. There's no way we don't ever find that out. Until Ultimax. Oh, okay. Jeez. I was gonna say, what? What? Alright. So, we won't find out for now, but it'll become clear in Ultimax. Okay. Fair enough. That is still kind of nutty, but okay. Did they have Ultimax in mind then when they made this game, I wonder? What a troll, yeah. Because I could see them, like, realizing, oh, we never actually explained what was going on with that, and then, like, explaining it in a sequel, but, man. I wonder if they did have Ultimax planned at some point or whatever when they were making the original story. Oh, man, I hope no one sees this. Okay. After all, I just got elected student council president in the elections a couple days ago. I have to keep in touch with what the people who voted for me want in a leader. Things in the student council will get pretty hectic after school. I should hurry to the student council room. I stand up and open the door in the back of the class. When I enter the hallway, there's no one around. I checked inside the classrooms to go, but I still don't see anyone.
Where the heck is everyone?
Weird. No school is usually rowdier than this after classes. I should hear people talking and laughing in classrooms and teachers yelling at them to quiet down. Where's all the bustle of students and everyone getting ready for their after-school activities? That's why I'm wondering that. I turn around and look down the way I came.
Oh, there they are.
There's some students in the hallway. Some of them are chatting, and others are coming out of the classrooms. A few of them run past me, carrying their bags. Yeah, this is more like it. This is how school's supposed to be.
Hey, no running in the hallway.
You should see what she actually looks like. The student gives an apologetic smile, but he just waves to me as he zooms down the stairs.
Sheesh, you'll put your eye out if you don't look where you're going. Oh well, I just gotta clamp down on him more from now on.
I put my hands on my hips and sigh.
Hey there, Miss President.
Are you off to the student council room? Have fun.
You're always so excited about that.
No, you're not. She's like, yeah, she has an accent. They're emulating the fact that she has like a rural accent, a Kansai dialect, in the original Japanese. So they gave her an accent as well in the English.
Bye, Miss President. See you next Monday.
But yeah, you're right. She's like Scottish or Irish or something. Probably because this was dubbed in Britain, probably. So they gave her a rural, like, you know, Scottish Irish accent. Everyone walking down the hallway talks to me. I wave back at them. I always had a lot of friends and people who knew me, but ever since I got elected student council president, all the students seem to know who I am. The job comes with a lot of pressure, but I know I'm up for it. I'm going to be busier than ever around school now. I did have my doubts, but in the end, I'm glad I ran for student council president.
Yeah, I did the right thing. I did.
I head to the student council room. Time flies by as I go over my agenda. Before I know it, there's red light pouring in from the west window. It's already sundown.
Whew. Guess that's enough for today.
There's no one else left in the student council room. I had the others go home before it gets too late. But when I said that if they push themselves too much at the start, they'd burn out quick, they just laughed and said, "The same goes to you." I leave the student council room and lock it up. As I go down the hall to return the key, I see a strange woman at the far end of the hallway. She's not wearing a school uniform. She's got on an odd hat, some gloves, and a one-piece dress. They all look the same deep blue color. Underneath, one arm's holding an odd-looking book. Oh, Elizabeth. I can't see her face with her back towards me, but her short, straight hair draws my attention. Her hair is this silver, radiant silver, like if pearls were stretched out into strands.
Who in the world is that?
Maybe it's the clothes, but she gives us this strange presence. Strong presence. I get a little uneasy looking at her. I'm not tiptoeing or anything, but she doesn't turn around until I'm about 2 meters away. When she finally does, though, I gasp a little. Her features are so perfect, she's like a sculpture.
Hey, excuse me.
Or is it Margaret?
You got some reason to be at our school? Are you sure?
Nope, it's Elizabeth.
This is how things should be? Huh?
I don't understand what she's getting at, but for some reason the question throws me.
I am a wanderer who only stopped here because I sensed great power gathering. I am in no position to give advice, but, this place will soon be caught in a bit of a fracas. If you continue to avert your eyes from everything, I think it will have an impact on your life in the near future.
My life?
What she just said sounds pretty scary. She may have some screws loose, but something is whispering to me deep in my heart, asking me, doesn't she have a point? Aren't you looking from something away important?
What you choose is up to you, but I believe there are factors preventing you from making the right choices at the moment. I couldn't bring myself to just stand by and watch as you lost your life before my eyes. That is why I was waiting here to give you one last chance.
The lady opens the thick book she's holding. I don't know how it's doing that, but light streams from the book. It gets stronger and stronger until I have to shield my eyes. The blinding light finally begins to fade a little. I slowly open my eyes. The first thing I see should have been my arm, but what I see instead is one made of metal.
Huh? What is this?
I can't believe this awkward metal arm is mine. It's like metal plates are completely covering it. Why does she have yellow eyes? All the Velvet Room attendants have yellow eyes. It may be a result of being a resident of the whatever other world or whatever, because the shadows also have yellow eyes as well, like the shadow versions of people. So it may just be a result of being a resident of that, or being from that kind of world or whatever. It's like metal plates are completely covering it. I start tugging at them and try to tear them off.
It won't come off. What gives?
It's not just my arms. My legs have changed too. Why are my arms and legs mechanical? My whole body even. I stare at my hands in confusion. These are my hands, all right. Part of me knows that, and I shake my head. What am I thinking? There's no way these are my hands. It's not possible. It's not... My head hurts. What is this?
I will be your opponent for a short while.
Oh, we're starting off with Elizabeth? Oh, jeez.
During that
This is gonna be rough.
Why not think back about who you are?
Huh? My opponent?
The lady takes a slightly defensive stance.
And away we go.
All right. We'll see how this goes, but yeah.
Final.
Probably, yeah. Not gonna lie.
My turn. Your face is in the change things up. Knock me out. Oh no. Opening my door. Oh,
I haven't been practicing it all, so there's a decent chance I lose the first time, if it's possible to win at all. Ah.
Negative penalty.
You were seeing.
Well, that's Elizabeth for you. She is very powerful in this game. Also, I don't think we have our persona at this point, so we're missing out on some of our combo finishers.
Your face. Oh my. Impressive. Oh no. Rounds and rounds. One. Oh my. Oh no. Impressive. I anticipated. Now up. Opening my door. Veneto. Please do watch yourself. Impressive. Oh no. I anticipated. Now up. My attack. Here, the freeze. Opening myself. Let's change things out. My turn.
Nah. At least she's not using Pixie. She's giving us a chance here.
Final.
One. Impressive. Oh no. Ooh. You were seared. Ooh. Please don't hold back. Oh my. Oh no. Impressive. Impressive. Oh no. From this moment forth, I will give it back. Impressive. Impressive. Your fate is in the cup.
Okay, I got it. How is Pixie worse? I'm just joking about, you know, the insta-kill with Pixie that she does during her T3 fight. Maybe that's her instant win move. I somehow managed to beat the lady in blue who attacked me. How did I win? How do I use these metal arms and legs like it was second nature? I don't understand. The lady in blue stands before me, exactly like she was when I first saw her. She's not even breathing hard.
Well done. But I'm sure you realize now, you are not human. There must have been an important promise that could only be kept in that guise. That must have been your reason for living. Whether it's worth losing that or not, I ask that you give it serious thought.
An important promise. My reason for living?
I repeat that to myself. It seems important somehow.
Now, it seems the tumult of trials is about to begin. In which case, I bid you good luck.
The thick book in her hand closes with a loud thud. Strangely, that ordinary sound lingers in my mind. When I come back to my senses, there's no one here anymore. I take a nervous look at my arms and legs.
Nothing seems different about me.
There's no metal on my limbs now. Just ordinary skin and bones.
What the heck was that? A dream?
A dream within a dream. Yeah, what was that? Would daydream be the word for what just happened? I can't sort out my thoughts, so I think to myself, I can't let it get to me. Just let it go. But some things I can't dismiss that easily. You're not human. You had an important promise. Okay.
She said, I'm forgetting something?
It is very odd. It took me a while to get over it as well. Just the, like, accent coming out of a, like, Asian face doesn't seem quite right, but, it's fine. My head's hurting again. The pain brings back another memory. It's just for a second, but I can't quite catch it. But I saw blue skies and the ocean. And someone else was there. Maybe a white dog too. I don't know. I think there was a lot more to it, but the last voice I heard stays with me.
I mean, we're loved after all.
When I come to, my hands are balled into fists. That's when I make a decision. That promise. That reason for living. I have to hang on to it. I didn't hear them until now, but there's strange voices everywhere in the school building. Is this the tumult of trials that Lady in Blue mentioned? Is that really going to be a thing?
I can't just leave this be. I'm the dang student council president.
As student council president, I have to find out what's going on in my school. I need to make sure the students aren't getting involved in anything dangerous. I start running towards the first floor. Oh. Wait, is there only one fight in this? I guess maybe, like... Oh! You can now continue from the cliffhanger in Yu, Yosuke, Chie, Yukiko, and Anji. Okay, so that's all the backstory. Oh! Well, I don't know. We'll probably pick this up, actually, on Thursday, Jeppo, but I'm just surprised. I mean, it's fine that the whole day was Labras. It was fun. It was good. But I was expecting a little bit more, not gonna lie. But I guess that makes sense, because so much of it was, like, about, yeah, just, like, setting up, like, I guess what was going on with Labras and what she was up to, like, before you meet her in, like, all these other stories. Interesting. I would have thought we would have played more as her. Huh. Interesting. But yeah, we'll probably get to the to-be-continued stuff, on Thursday. Alright. Hey, well, I mean... I was hoping there would be a to-be continued on this, but I guess not. Oh well. Huh. Alright. Yosuke and Thursday? Yeah. I think what we'll do is we'll do Yosuke, and then we'll work our way around this way. And end on you. I don't know how long the to-be continued, like, endings are, so we'll try and get through as many as we can. I don't know if we'll be able to get through all of them on Thursday, but we can at least get through most of them and then finish it out next Tuesday. We're getting through it. We'll probably have the rest of the original Arena story done sometime next week, and then we can start on Ultimax. Might also do some fights against just some random fights against CPU, or if people want to hang out or whatever. There's normally 1 to 2 fights. Okay, then we should be able to get through a good chunk of them on Thursday. But probably, you said was like long, like it had a lot of story stuff with it, so we'll probably do that one next Tuesday. And like, there's also Elizabeth as well, so I imagine that one's also kind of long. But yeah, we're getting through it, and then we'll be able to start Ultimax, which is probably a little bit better paced in terms of fights and story, it seems like. probably technically not as long, just because there's probably like less dialogue and stuff in between fights. Because I imagine each of these cards is a fight. And then looks like there's, well, there's this, and then there's also the P3 episode, I think, right? Because this is called episode P4, so you get through this, and then you could do episode P3. So I guess there is like a whole second half, so it's probably about the same length. Weirdly, Liz is normal length. Huh. And Adachi. What, is Adachi in this game? I didn't think so. I thought Adachi came into the game, in the second game. But yeah. We haven't even touched any of the other content. I've just been going through the story the whole time. And it's been like, what, 10, 12? It's been like at least 3 or 4 streams at this point. What stream is this? I can't remember. Adachi gets his own episode. Nice. Yeah, that'll be fun then. I do like this main menu music. Alright. Well, I think we'll end here for today. I'm looking forward to, like, getting to Ultimax as well. Because I hear the story on that is pretty good, too. Like... Gotcha, okay. Like, that backstory with Labrys was really, really good. It was really, really good. I was tearing up towards for some of it there. But yeah, it was really good. I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of it here. But yeah, it should be good. I think the story is a little lengthy, but it's a bit better than I thought it would be. Gotcha, yeah. Interesting. There's a true ending to a fighting game. Well, I guess there is sometimes. I don't know. I'm not too familiar with how fighting games usually do their story. Or how, from my understanding, most fighting games plot is just an excuse for people to fight each other. And there's a little bit of that here. But at least, like, the backstory on, like, the new character and everything is pretty good. And, like, there's some fun, like, character interactions happening between the P3 and P4 casts. Okay. Yeah, I gotta track down the soundtrack for this game. I think I have it. I gotta double check that though. Alright. Well, I think I'll wrap it up here for today. Thanks for hanging out, Jeppo and Gur. Thanks for everybody watching back on the VOD. I will hopefully see you on... We could do episode of Dodgy before P3? I have no idea. I mean, if we have to do it for the true ending, we might as well just do it anyway before we get the ending, which I imagine is at the end of episode P3. But yeah. Anyway, I will hopefully see you guys on Thursday. But I hope you guys have a good week. Yeah. But in case I don't see you guys, hope you guys have a good afternoon, good evening, good night. See you guys.